what do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of using a long-term partner like us compared to freelancers?
Whenever you're outsourcing towards a freelancer, you're taking on an element of risk. You and I work together where a lot of production is utilised by a Q2 Grammins team. And for me, the most important thing is having that trust there and knowing that when shit hits the fans, you've got somebody there that you can pick up the phone to, and you've got full faith that that person on the other end of the phone is going to do everything within their power to help you solve the problem that you've got. And that is something that is very, very, very hard to find.
How about project management? You have worked with Hassan, who leads the team.
The benefit of working with your project managers is they are client facing, but they also have a very good knowledge about all the different services that are happening within your organization. So I know if I've got a question about pretty much any project, I can go towards Hassan and I'm not having to go to 20 different people to chase deadlines. So that's like a massive advantage.
Would you like to talk about Faiz?
We have got one video editor that's been working with us for just under 2 years now. He's been very reliable towards us. I think time investment that I made in the early days, like when we started working together, is now like really paying off. And there are days where we may not even speak for a day or even 2 days, and he knows exactly what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, and is always looking to improve the quality because he understands the vision that we're pushing towards.
Welcome to the second episode of Content Kitchen podcast. I am Saad, founder of Content Kitchen, previously known as Acutagramming. I remember in my last podcast, I said Acutagramming. It's just, I'm so used to it. It's been 6 years we've been using the same name. But yeah, now I'm getting used to of the change. In this podcast, I have Alexander Dowie with me. And Alex and I share a very different kind of bond. We are not just business partners. We have been working together since last 6 years, and we have more like a friendly relation. I have a different place in my heart for Alex, and he is the one who actually sorted the first accommodation for me in Dubai when I was not here. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you Alex. He is the founder and CEO of Gulf Creative and Gulf Podcast Studios. How's it going, Alex?
Oh, good. It seems like a lifetime ago now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, what, 2 years ago now? Which month did you come here?
Yeah, so on 5th of July, after 4 days, I'll be completing my 2 years in Dubai.
Nice.
So yeah, second anniversary and second episode.
Yeah.
So, Alex, how was the Eid holidays?
It was good. So I went out to Hong Kong actually, just for a little vacation. To be honest, not really taking too many vacations whilst I've been in Dubai. And when I do take vacations, probably similar to you, it's to go back home, see family. Yeah. So mostly. It was nice to have a break, but back into it now. So
yeah, it started to get super hot here, to be honest. I'll probably be traveling later this month, have some business setup things going on. So yeah, so like, how's Hong Kong? When you were there, I saw your stories. First, I used to believe like Hong Kong and China are like different countries.
Yeah.
But recently I was just looking at different visa things. And whenever you go to any of these websites, they say Hong Kong, but territory of China or something, it's...
Yeah, so it's quite a controversial topic. Yeah. But Hong Kong used to be owned by the British up until 1997. And then the British handed Hong Kong over to China. What was called the One Country, Two Systems Agreement, whereby Hong Kong would become a legal entity of China, but would have its own special legislation, which would reflect its own culture. For example, Hong Kong people speak Cantonese mainly, where in China they speak Mandarin. So it has all these different nuances, and I think Hong Kong's like a very exciting city to be in because it's very much the key between the East and the West. So if you're a British or Western professional or company who wants to do business in China, you would normally set up in Hong Kong. Because that is a very Western-friendly city that obviously has very strong ties towards China and is now obviously a part of China within its special region.
And yeah, they have their separate government, but they come...
Yeah, so I don't know the full details about it, but yeah, they definitely have their own governing government. However, there's some obviously relationship with Beijing and Hong Kong in terms of like.
Yeah, that's why I was like, whenever I used to check for visas, it always used to come under China. So, yeah, good learning for me.
I mean, we used to do video production work in China, in Hong Kong in 2018. So yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic city, and obviously everyone speaks English there, so it's nice and easy to
and you quite
get
like
around. Asian food, everything. Yeah, I love it. It's a very expensive city.
Hong Kong.
Yeah. But I think Hong Kong is very much like Dubai in a lot of ways. Obviously, Dubai, the UAE, has only been a country for, I think it's around 55 years now.
Yeah.
So it was the same thing with Hong Kong, where Hong Kong is around, I think, 100 years old when you look at when it was really established. And the same thing with Hong Kong and Dubai in terms of they had a massive influx of income and expat population that flooded these cities. And essentially, the expat population has built both of these cities somewhat. Or definitely contributed a vast amount towards the growth of the countries.
Correct.
So yeah, they're very similar cities, and obviously both great countries.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to Dubai in terms of, you can say, the modernism that they have, like the skyrise and business activity and all. But I met someone at an event last month. She lives in Hong Kong, but she's like the head of marketing for the executive center here at Trade Center. Yeah. So she was telling me like, yes, Dubai and Hong Kong share a lot of similarities, but Hong Kong is very green.
Yes.
So yeah, it's modern and at the same time very green, close to nature. So she was like, we go for hiking over the weekends. So yeah, weather-wise, it's, I think, a lot better.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe that it literally is a city on an island and that is essentially a jungle. So just like here, we can go in the car to Al Qudra for, what, a 20-minute drive maybe? In Hong Kong, it's even less, like 10 minutes and you're in the jungle hiking.
Good. Yeah, it's if it's a blend of nature and modernism, I think it's what a place to be on earth, and to be honest.
I think you've got probably Dubai, Hong Kong, Singapore. There are these sort of unique places in the world that are very business-minded, business-focused, but also offer like a fantastic lifestyle. So we're very lucky.
And it's similar to Singapore, or Singapore is different?
I'd say, it's quite similar to Singapore, yeah.
So let's chat about how we both met. I don't think we have really discussed this on any podcast or a platform. So yeah, let's share with our audience how we both met.
Sure. So do you want me to tell the full story?
Yeah, full story, transparent, yeah.
So I forget which service it was I was looking for. I think it may have been an outreach service for what was our video production company in the UK called Keyhole Visuals, I think, at that point.
Okay.
I think it may have been, or it may have been Keyhole Creative.
Keyhole Creative.
Yeah. And I think I was looking for assistance for outreach when it comes to our digital campaigns, both for us and for our clients. So we essentially looked on Fiverr initially because we were looking for a freelancer to work with. And then we came across your profile, and I think we commissioned you for, I think, a month initially, which you worked on. And then after the first month, things were obviously going well, so we decided to continue working from that point. And
do you remember, like, the first day we started working together, the next day my Fiverr account got blocked?
I do, absolutely, because I remember looking at my Fiverr notifications, and I'd been refunded the amount, and then the project didn't exist. So I thought, that's a bit strange. So I tried messaging your account, and the message wouldn't go through. And I thought, okay. Yeah. And then I remember opening my Facebook account. Yeah,
I texted you on Facebook.
And I got a message from yourself saying that you really need to speak to me. Yeah. So I ended up speaking to you, and it became apparent that maybe you were trying to like game the system a little bit on Fiverr, and got your account banned. Yeah. But obviously we were very impressed in terms of just from that initial work that we did together, that then I decided, I wanted to like pursue like a working relationship with you outside of this.
with these platforms, Fiverr, Upwork, this was the issue that we used to face. Like, for example, like this was early in the days when I started working
so I would have said that would have been
2020.
Maybe COVID era.
Pre-COVID. It was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, it was my first experience working online with new people. And whenever we get any order or any contract, obviously you cannot communicate all your business through Fiverr. And that was their policy. Like, you cannot communicate outside of the platform. But my clients used to say, like, we want to be more flexible. We want to do WhatsApp chat, Slack. We cannot stay all the time on Fiverr. So that, I think, we exchanged number, or maybe I shared your number and then they blocked my account.
I think that's the issue. I think from a client's perspective and from a freelance perspective, when you're looking at these platforms, you have to play by their rules, and their rules can be so restrictive that it actually is a worse experience, not only for the freelancer, but for the client themselves.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, things may have improved now, but from what I remember from Fiverr's communication platform, it's not very, high tech. And when you're looking for, a lot of the time these people are looking for a freelancer to plug into an existing team, that communication can't go through all a Fiverr inbox.
Through Fiverr, of course.
You're looking for people to join your Slack, join your WhatsApp groups or what have you.
To work more like your team and not just some random people on a random platform. That was the issue that I used to face. And that was the day that when I decided that I need to form my own company. I cannot rely on these platforms. And then I formed Acutagramming. And I think it's almost 6 years now. And we are sitting together recording this podcast.
Who would have thought when you sent that message on Facebook?
Hey, Alex.
I'll see if I can find that message.
I think that was my old Facebook account that I think it got deleted, but you should have records. I think it's been 6 years since we have seen ups and downs. We have helped each other in different times, but I don't think we have really spoken, or you have really shared your story, like how you started Keyhole Creative Media, and then Dubai, and then this studio. So I would love to know your story.
Sure. So to really backtrack, I mean, going back to when I was a kid at school, picking my exams, I didn't really know what I wanted to be when I grew up, so to speak. I mean, I definitely grew up in like an entrepreneurial household. So I knew that whatever I wanted to do, I wanted to work somewhere first, learn a skill set, and then try and do something by myself. But I just had no idea what that may be. So even when it came to going to university, I was trying to think, what would I want to study for university? I mean, I looked at a range of different things, but it came down to it. It was like, what's my passion? What am I most interested in? And that was the creative sector, but more importantly, the movie sector, the film production. So I decided to go and study film at university. And then whilst I was at university, I started to take very small, like, freelance jobs. I mean, you're talking like £200, for a project. But that allowed me to earn an income whilst I was at university. So there's like a strange sort of proof of concept that there is some commercial avenue here with video production. You got to bear in mind that when I was at university, video production was with like the big camcorders. It wasn't like the DSLRs and everything that people use nowadays. The industry changed completely. And then whilst I was at university, I managed to get a job in TV production, working at ITV. And I managed to work myself up to assistant director on a program called Emmerdale. You probably don't know of it, but in the UK it's very famous. And I managed to learn so much working, 6 days a week at this production studio. And then I came into my final year of university, and I was very, very fortunate that in my final year at university, there was a massive, massive shift in media production. And the massive shift was because Canon came out with the Canon 5D. Now, the Canon 5D was the first DSLR that allowed video recording. which was a massive game changer. The reason why it was a massive game changer is because when you look at like like high production movies, and you've got like somebody in focus, and you've got like a nice like out of focus background, that wasn't possible with camcorders unless you were spending crazy amounts of money.
Camcorders like the big cameras.
Absolutely. Now, because the lenses on the DSLRs allowed that image quality in photo format, as soon as it was allowed in video format, all of a sudden you could buy a £3,000 camera and get the same results that like a £50,000 camcorder could do, and things changed overnight. So then we were turning up to shoots with the tiny Canon, as big as these ones, and we were doing just like little shoots for like hairdressers and things. But the quality of footage that these clients were getting, they'd never ever seen before. So the reactions we were getting of everybody was like, "This is amazing! Like, this is
new
crazy."
Technology.
Exactly. We were just so lucky that happened at that time. So then my sort of freelance business sort of exploded because everybody wanted, this sort of style of filming. So it got to the point then where I was making so much money doing the freelance work that I resigned from my job at the production studio, and I set up what was Keyhole Visuals, and I just hired an apprentice called Ewan.
Ewan, legend.
Who was an amazing asset who I owe so much to, amazing individual. And then we sort of grew that very small production studio from there. And then, like I said, we were just at the right place at the right time because the year after that, DJI came out with their first drone. So all of a sudden, for £1,000, we could do aerial filming.
You replaced helicopters.
We replaced helicopters. So we've replaced these super expensive camcorders. We've replaced helicopters. We're bringing all this cost-effective technology to clients. People had never seen anything like this before. So it was very easy for us to win work because people just had not like seen this level of production before.
And whenever there is new technology, everybody wants to try.
Exactly.
Even if they don't need it, but they would be interested to explore more, like how a change would look like.
Yeah. I mean, we even had like newspapers wanting to feature our work because we'd been flying drones around Doncaster, the town where I'm from, and they wanted to feature like all these like aerial views of Doncaster because this wouldn't have been possible prior without renting a helicopter. So, I mean, it was, very lucky.
Game changer.
Yeah. And then we sort of ran that business for 5-6 years. And then we sort of branched off into additional marketing aspects, so like web design, social media, graphic design. And that was purely because we were getting clients ask us for it. Yeah. So, we'll produce a movie for somebody. They'd want us to like schedule it out onto social, like make bite-sized chunks and schedule those out. So we started offering it as a service. And then things went from there.
Awesome. And then Dubai?
Then the big shift to Dubai was probably 2017. We were getting more and more contracts in Dubai because we were essentially able to undercut the production companies here. So it was cheaper for us to fly out, get a hotel for a week, do the production, and then fly back home. However, it got to the point where I was flying out every single month. Yeah. And it just became like unmanageable for me. And then every time I came out, I'd do more networking, meet more people. And then just prior to COVID, I thought it makes sense for me to actually base the agency out of Dubai, and then keep the UK as more of like a production hub where we can still service our UK-based clients, but the future is definitely in the Middle East.
And I think like pre-COVID, Dubai didn't have so much business activity and an influx of people, but post-COVID, you would know the difference because you've been here post and pre-COVID. So
it definitely had business activity because it's always been like a very business forward-thinking city.
Yeah,
I think what COVID changed was it brought the younger generations through to Dubai.
That's what I meant.
So when you're thinking of like your real estate agents that you see here, your fitness coaches, like your mindset coaches, of course there were still real estate agents here prior, but definitely the younger generation did come through, and Dubai sort of attracted those like young entrepreneurial focused individuals, and COVID was like the perfect excuse where Dubai was open, everywhere else was closed. That everyone sort of like gravitated towards Dubai.
Good. So what's the plan? We are sitting in this beautiful studio. Actually, it's owned by Alex. We have recently opened it in Business Bay. So I actually personally like the vibe, this whole vibe of the studio, because I like more neutral colors, not like the other, sorry if I'm not sure if this is the right thing to say, the LGBT studios that you see around Dubai, colorful. So this is like more neutral tone, old money vibe that I personally like. And I try to recommend to all of my clients, like recently 2 of our clients have recorded their podcasts and one for their personal brand in the studio. So yeah, I personally love this.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect setup you have made.
I think as like a media agency, prior to this year, we would hire out studios in Dubai on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also frustrated that all these studios look very similar in terms of like the purple neon lights,
Exactly.
the very like Web3 sort of focused themed. And I was also frustrated like the lack of support as well that you got from these studios.
Yeah.
You'd book it, you'd sit down, they'd turn the cameras on, and then they'd disappear until your time was up, and then they'll tell you to leave.
No assistance, yeah.
So what we try to do is look at maybe building a studio that's a little bit more aesthetic, not the sort of like stereotypical podcast studio look. And then every time that somebody books a studio, we want to learn more about them, how we can help them outside of just allowing them to use the studio. And then building that relationship with people and giving them that free added value has just resulted in people coming back and back and back.
Yeah.
And then essentially the customers become our friends, and then they become part of our sort of inner community.
Builds a long-term relationship with them.
Exactly.
Because you are here to stay, they're here to stay. So it just builds a good relationship. That's what it's all about, I think.
Yeah, and I think with us having the marketing agency behind the studio as well, obviously everybody that comes into the studio is here because they're looking to promote something, whether that be their personal brand, their organization, a product, whatever it may be. So we can assist them with things outside of the studio as well. And even if it's just advice, or if they want to run something by us, see what we think, that's where we differentiate ourselves from, other companies.
Correct. And I think these days, the trend that I have noticed recently in the past couple of months, maybe, people have started to focus more and more on their personal brands.
Mm-hmm.
So I reckon most of them are using the studio to record their personal stuff more, or you think it's just...
Yeah, I think it's a mix, but definitely the personal brand has exploded. Again, since COVID as well, and the rise of LinkedIn, that's really become a powerhouse now. And I think with the rise of AI now, people are starting to get smarter and smarter at recognizing when they see AI generated content.
Yeah, correct.
And that's not just ChatGPT with emails, but this is now content now. And when you're going through LinkedIn or Instagram, even the people that aren't in the content production space can recognize when they see in AI videos. And that sort of turns people off. It almost has like a negative connotation when you see like AI content. So people are gravitating more and more towards human generated content. And the perfect platform for human generated content is a podcast setup. Hearing from the people from their own mouths, and it's just so like genuine and organic that I think that's really going to be where we're going to be moving towards in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people connect with people, humans. So yesterday I opened YouTube, and I saw an AI generated ad from a very big company, that will have enough budget to spend on a real human being. They just are paying thousands of dollars on AI generated ads, and you don't really connect with those ads. Like the moment I see something AI, I just skip it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same with even LinkedIn. People who post ChatGPT generated content, you don't really connect with them. I personally skip that. I'm not sure what others do, but I never really like any ChatGPT generated thing. It's just I cannot connect with them.
And I think people are becoming smarter and smarter now. I mean, if you go back 3 years ago, you would never recognize ChatGPT generated content. However, now you have to look at it for a split second and you recognize it straight away. And it does give you that sort of negative feeling, like low effort, like,
Exactly. That's what I was about to mention. Sorry.
Yeah. And I think that sort of ability to recognize AI content is going to get more and more profound. If you look at the Google AI that came out, the video generator recently, I'm sure you will have probably seen it on Instagram, where they're producing these amazing like AI videos that look so realistic.
Yeah, the road interviews one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
I've
when I saw that on Google's promo, I was amazed. I was like, this is amazing. Had you shown me that 2 years ago, I would have never thought that's AI. However, now when I'm going through Instagram, I can recognize that within a millisecond.
Yeah.
So even as AI is getting better, our sensitivity towards recognizing AI generated content is also getting better.
Yeah, I think previously, because we didn't have that easy access to AI tools, or we didn't have much awareness, but nowadays everybody has access to ChatGPT or these AI tools, so we have become very used to it, so we can easily recognize like if this is AI or if this is real. And one thing that you mentioned, low effort, that's I think is the most important thing, that whenever you see an AI generated ad, you see it from a perspective like it's low effort. They didn't put much effort to it, so why do I pay attention to this?
Yeah.
And this is the same perspective that I carry. If they didn't pay much attention to that, why do I do that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to come across like I'm anti-AI, because it's clear that AI is the future. I think it's how you utilize AI. So if you're looking at utilizing AI to produce a whole product or a whole video campaign or whatever it may be solely, then yes, it's low effort. However, if you're looking to utilize AI tools to improve the project you're working on or your product or whatever it may be, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In the media space, you know, one of the most powerful AI tools that we utilize is Adobe's AI when it comes to audio editing. And it's such a profoundly powerful AI platform that I think everyone should be embracing it, because it has no downside.
Yes, absolutely. It's not like being against AI. It's about being smart with AI. I personally use AI a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not into production much. It's my team that takes care of production and everything. So my interaction is mostly with ChatGPT, and all the ideas or research. Now I have stopped using Google. Everything that I have to search, I just go to ChatGPT. That's now my new search engine. So I do use it, but it's just, as you said, it's just being smart with AI. You use it to generate ideas, to come up with new perspectives, but then you use those ideas or that output and turn that with your creativity into implementation. It's not like you just copy paste.
Yeah.
And even my team, like this morning, they showed me there's this software called V.io.
Yeah.
And there's another one that they are using these days to collect feedbacks. So previously, whenever we used to edit videos, we used to send through Google Drive, and then clients used to add comments to Google Drive or an Excel sheet or something.
Yeah.
But nowadays there are AI tools, like you just upload video there, it automatically detects all the timestamps, and you can pass your comments to each timestamps, and it's all done real time and super fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, it's not being against you AI. It's more about how you use it smartly and not
being over reliant on it. I think is the key thing.
Exactly.
And utilizing it to offer a better service towards the client.
Exactly. So what tools are you guys using in production and video?
I think the one I mentioned, the Dowie audio,
Adobe, yes.
the EQ AI app that Adobe have is fantastic. So if we're ever on a location shoot that has a lot of background noise that's unavoidable, utilizing an AI like Adobe's AI can really assist with improving the quality of the audio. And then obviously we use a range of AI apps on a daily basis to assist with like organization and production. One we use is called Opus AI, which helps like extract like certain clips from a podcast. So if we're looking to extract all the timestamps, then we can use Opus to help us speed up that process. But like I said, don't become like too reliant on that, because you've still got to check all of the quality, make sure you're happy with all of the clips that they've extracted, and not just take all those clips and then send them to the client, because that's just low effort and lazy.
And there's another software called Frame.io. If you
I think it's similar.
It's a similar one. It just my team mentioned it a couple of times. So we both met through Fiverr,
Mm-hmm.
and I personally didn't have a good experience working through freelance platforms or Upwork or other platforms like this. So earlier I started my career through Fiverr, but when I saw the when I found out it's not good for the longevity of the business, then I realized I need a better alternative. So what we started to focus more on was we started making long-term partnerships with agencies, just like we have with yourself. So like I would like to know your thoughts now, since it's been 6 years we are sharing this partnership. I'm sitting in Dubai, 2 years you brought me here. So what do you think are the advantages and disadvantages, and what are the benefits of using a long-term partner like us
Mm-hmm.
compared to freelancers or
Yeah, so I think I'm really against outsourcing and using freelancers on a regular basis, because whenever you're outsourcing work or outsourcing towards a freelancer, you're taking on an element of risk.
Yeah.
Because you don't know this person, you can't really trust them no matter how many reviews they've got. You don't know what's the quality of work that's going to come back. If you submit a really important project to them and they become ill and don't respond to you, it puts you in a position where you're going to
Yeah.
miss your deadline. So you're taking on a massive element of risk. So even if it's a cost-saving exercise, it's not worth it, because it's not worth the amount of risk that you would take on by outsourcing this stuff. So I would always say any production agency should always be looking to do everything they can in-house, unless it's something super specialized. So then what we need to have a look at is, how do you categorize in-house work? So you and I work together where a lot of our production is utilised by a Q2Grammins team. However, we know we've got a team there that work full-time for Gulf Creative. And we know if there's ever any issue or any problem, we've got a whole team there to rely on, and it's within your interest to ensure that everything goes smoothly, and obviously keeps me as the client happy, and having that sort of safety net there as a client, I think is something that you can't really put a value on. It's so important.
Exactly.
And for me, the most important thing isn't the price, isn't even the quality of work. It's having that trust there, and knowing that when shit hits the fan, sorry for my language, that you've got somebody there that you can pick up the phone to, and you've got full faith that that person on the other end of the phone is going to do everything within their power to help you solve the problem that you've got. And that is something that is very, very, very hard to find. It's not something you can really get with an internal team. It's not something you'll ever get with a freelancer. So having that relationship and that sort of comfort that you've got a right-hand man with you is something that I found invaluable.
Yeah, that's exactly, and that is something that I realized earlier in my business career, that agencies like yourself, they want more reliability.
Mm-hmm.
Skills can be trained,
Mm-hmm.
and if you want to hire a Fiverr freelancer and you can just save a couple of bucks, but it's not worth it. If in the long run you're still, let's say after 2 years, you're still in the same position, you're still not a proper company. So whenever you're thinking about longevity of your business, scalability,
Mm-hmm.
then you need more reliable partners. And that's exactly what we stand for, to be honest. Like we tell the agencies that we work with, we are not some random people sitting in different parts of the world that you're never gonna see in your life, and you are trusting them with your business that pays your bills. So you need people who are sitting under one roof, who understand your vision, who work more like your extended team and not some third party company. So that's exactly the business model that we are carrying on, to be honest.
Yeah, and I would say that's definitely been my experience. I mean, we have individuals at Acutogramming that have been working with us for multiple years now.
Yeah.
And the big benefit from that is the comprehension when it comes to like delivering briefs or undertaking projects, because they are so well experienced within working on those projects, that process moves very smoothly. So it's not the case that every single week you're having to invest so much of your own personal time into towards explaining your vision,
Yeah.
etc. Because this team have been there for 6 years, they understand the process, they know what we're trying to achieve, and then if any issues come up, the resolution is very quick because we all know what the end goal is going to be.
If you're a team, yeah, of course. So, would you like to talk about FIRES?
Sure. So we have got one video editor that's been working with us for just under 2 years now.
Yeah.
And he's been very reliable towards us. I've sort of I like to think I've like taken him under my wing a little bit in terms of like helping like train him up and learn new styles of production. And I think that time investment that I made in the early days, like when we started working together, is now like really paying off. And there are days where we may not even speak for a day or even 2 days, and he knows exactly what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, and he's always looking to improve the quality because he understands the vision that we're pushing towards.
Exactly, and you have FIRES, and we have other team members like Rohat, that takes care of the design department. So that's more like the skill side. But how about project management? You have worked with Hassan, who leads the team. If you want to say a few words about it.
I think the benefit of working with like some of your project managers is they are client facing, but they also have a very good knowledge about all the different services that are happening within your organization. So I know if I've got a question about pretty much any project, I can go towards Hassan and say, right, Hassan, why has this been done like this, or can you give me an update on this? And straight away he can get me the relevant information, and I'm not having to go to 20 different people to chase deadlines or ask questions because I've got a central person there.
Yeah.
So that's like a massive advantage.
And if you remember the recent company that we started working with, the previous company that they were using, they had a project manager girl, and under her they had developers and social media people, and the project management girl didn't have any idea about the execution of web and socials, and it was the biggest challenge that we were facing while extracting data. So I think that's when it helps when the project managers know exactly about the services, they can communicate better. Otherwise there's always that communication gap between the client and the team.
Yeah, I think it's very common when we've worked with agencies and worked with clients. It's so frustrating when you're speaking to a project manager that doesn't understand or doesn't have knowledge about the service they're discussing. And then they're essentially becoming a middleman. And then it's like Chinese whispers where you're passing a message to them, they're passing a message to the production team, and it's coming back, and it's just a massive waste of time and resources. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I would never run my business like that, and it's good to see that you don't run yours.
Of course, because I've always focused on longevity, to be honest. So, and this is what I tell to every agency that we work with and partner with. So like right now we have 38 agency partners in the UK, US, and some here in the UAE. And the only thing that I tell them, like, we are a company. We are not random freelancers. So we have got bills to pay. We have this staff to build a future along with. So we take everything very seriously. So the other agencies or freelancers that you work with, they're working, let's say, over the weekends or whenever they have time. So there's always less commitment. But if we are a company, we have invested so much in licensing and then office space, teams and everything, it shows that we are serious and we take everything very seriously. It's not like, okay, this client will come and go. So that's why it's just like, if we are sharing that same perspective, same vision, and same business qualities, then it builds together a good bond.
I think it's funny you mention, I mean, just to like go into another subject, the one thing that I find really frustrating as a business owner, especially as an agency owner, is sometimes when we have a member of staff who is putting in like the extra hours and working on the weekends or working late at night, and then they're then communicating with clients at these times. I really, really hate that happening because it makes you look like you're just dealing with freelancers.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because the employee thinks they're doing a good thing by working late and putting in the extra hours. But from an optics point of view, from the client side, it looks like super unprofessional. So it's like I say to my guys, look, if you're working late, like don't have any communication with a client after 6 p.m. But at 8 a.m. the following day, you make sure that all that communication's been processed.
You're right. And this is what I have also learned previously. Like if I go back to 3 years ago, I used to think that it was smart if we overwork, but then as I learned new things, I was like, no, it's really important for us to work more like a structured company.
Absolutely.
And not someone who's available all the time, because then it gives a negative perception, like you're always available. You don't have other things going on in life. So it's balance of both. I think is good. Sometimes when push comes to shove, you have to be there when needed.
If there's like an emergency and you pull something out of the bag on like a weekend or late at night, then clients really appreciate that and they value that because they know it's out of the norm. But when they come to expect it because you're always replying at 9, 10 p.m. at night, that's where it starts to become an issue.
Exactly.
And what I've really learned as somebody who's got many production staff is when it comes to productivity, there's so much productivity to be gained by just being organized. You wouldn't believe how many guys that have worked for me over the years, and they've come to me and said, I was working till 2 a.m. last night on this project, and I've turned around and they're expecting praise. I'm like, well, why? It's like there's literally no need to, because I know how long this work takes if you're organised, and if you didn't waste 4 hours at the start of the day, all of this could have been done by 6 p.m. So like that's like something that I find frustrating as like an agency owner. And I think it's like a constant battle, especially with like the younger generation as well, because if they've worked as freelancers prior, then they think it's a good thing to work late at night and work these odd hours, and being able to retrain people as they're coming into the industry to work in this more professional manner, I think is like actually quite a challenge.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, the young generation thing, nowadays, all the team that I have is mostly young. So they're like early 20s, or like someone is 19, even teenagers. So I sometimes struggle with their mentality. Like they like more flexibility in working style. So I'm in the middle. So I have worked with, through events, FO Summit and other stuff. I hang around with more senior people, more corporates. So I share that mentality, as well as my whole team is very young. So I just get stuck in the middle. So sometimes they like more flexibility, easy hours. They sometimes will send an email at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., which is not a good thing in the corporate world. You need to be very organized. So I think,
I think you can structure it both ways, though, I really believe. Because the one thing I've always said to my staff is we can be 100% flexible as long as the deadlines are met at certain times and you're available to communicate in the hours that we will require to communicate with you, then there's no problem with being flexible. I mean, for example, if I had a salesperson in my team and her target was to bill, say, $50,000 a month, and then she bills $50,000 within the first week, if that's her target and that's what I'm happy with, if she takes the rest of the 3 weeks off work, doesn't matter. If I've got a production staff member and he's got a deadline of Tuesday to produce a documentary, for example, if he works over the weekend and delivers it on Sunday night and there's no amends, then no problem with me. Like, take Monday and Tuesday off. As long as those deadlines are met, then be as flexible as you want.
I think, as long as what's needed to be done is done at the right time, you can work whenever you want. Yeah, absolutely. So to wrap up the podcast, I would like for you to say a few final words. So we work with a lot of clients who are now building their personal brands in different industries. Like not yesterday, but last week, I was a part of a workshop based around personal brands who met a lot of people and they showed interest. So if you'd like to give them a message or any advice, how should they go about it, especially being in Dubai?
Yeah, sure. So, like I said earlier, I think with the rise of AI content, people are becoming so sensitive towards recognizing AI content now that people really need to focus on human-generated content. And I think the easiest way to produce human-generated content is to come into a studio for an hour, record a month's worth of content within 1 hour, 2 hours, and then, you know, partnering with your agency to then facilitate the editing and distribution of all of that. It's like a match made in heaven, and it's such like a stress-free process that people really overcomplicate, like increasing your personal brand when you can do it within 2 hours. So it seems like a no-brainer.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you so much, everyone, for watching this. I hope you liked it, and I hope to get more energy to do more, and I'll be hosting more agency partners in the upcoming weeks. Thank you again, and yeah.
See you on the next one.